being honest.
Yo, so we're getting fitted for Ed's wedding, or at least I'm getting fitted at the moment. Getting suit pants. So I listen to John. I go down to fucking some spot on Bergen Line. It's an old Israeli dude. So I'm like, all right, man, you got the accent to sound like you know suits. Like this is your career. So boom, he gets the pants, puts them on me, da-da-da. You know, I dropped a couple of LBs, so had to change things up a little bit. Mm-hmm. So he comes over to me and he's like, man, how do you feel about them? I'm like, yeah, man, they're good. They got like nice length to it. He goes, pull your pants up. I go, my pants are up, sir. He goes, that's not how you pull your pants up. He goes, look at your friend. So Jay was wearing his pants like that. He goes, stare at his crotch. Look at that crotch. It's a perfect crotch. But mind you, he's yelling it in Zoolander tongue. So he's just like, look at the crotch. It's perfect crotch. Perfect crotch. And of course, I had to then look up and lock eyes with Pesos. And he's like, eh? It is a perfect crotch.
Did he like dry hump the air?
Basically.
Out the Liars Radio.
That is basically what happened. It's Maxwell and Sabz. I'm joined in the studio by Sabz and longtime partner, best friend, and producer, Castro. What's up, man?
Yeah, what's good, Papa? We in here.
Yeah, back in the building.
Yeah.
Sup, Sabz?
Boom. You know, same shit, bro.
What's up with you? How's everything lately?
You know, good. I went to the studio. And I went to the gym today. So, you know what I'm saying? Now we podding. That's the trifecta. I did everything.
That is actually a really good combination.
Only nigga that be in the studio, I don't never hear nothing.
I'm a perfectionist. I'm waiting until I drop. Yo, I deadass have, like, if I were doing the Russ and I was dropping the track every week, I have enough to drop for 6 months straight.
Now, but doesn't like songs like, I don't know, I can't tell because I haven't listened to it, but will some songs age?
Yeah, all my songs age. I'm a classical motherfucker. Like automatically when I speak, it's just like, wow, it's timeless.
I like that kind of bravado.
Know what I mean?
But nah, dude, what you got to do is you got to request to be on the sign up for the list because I get them every time they drop.
Oh,
I get them. I get the rough cuts. I get some of the finalized shit.
I didn't get the link for the mailing list.
You gotta ask, man. You gotta seek within.
I like the way you guys talk about this. I can monetize this eventually. I like this.
No, but that's the way that it is though, because it's the same way that we do the drops for like the videos and stuff like that. Like it's a privatized link. I don't put it on YouTube after we got pulled off that first one. So like there was no point in that. I was like, yo, bro, this is a headache. Because then they're like, do you want to file for an appeal? And I'm like, all right. And they're like, what's your reasoning? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm cool. Like, I ain't saying nothing crazy. I didn't come out here starting an army, nigga. I ain't QAnon.
But did they tell you exactly why they pulled it down? But then you could.
Yeah, they gave me actually a couple different ones. So apparently, there's a whole thing about smoking in the beginning of episodes. That like it drops you out of the monetization / like algorithmic boost point.
Yeah, YouTube and TikTok don't like weed.
Ironic considering how many people they have on there talking about weed.
Yeah. Yeah, especially TikTok though. TikTok will take your videos down talking about weed. They don't like weed at all. It's a Asian or Chinese run company.
Oh yeah, China hates.
And China hates weed, so
like Stephen A. hates the weed. no weed and anything China. China not with that.
So they had cited that. Then they had cited the thing about us addressing this chick, oh fuck man, it was so long ago now that I can't remember what her name was. But basically she got killed in an accident and then she didn't die on the scene.
Oh, I remember the
conspiracy chick.
The one that went through the house?
Yeah. So that's my point. So that was because you can't say certain. I'm like, dude, I'm obviously joking. There's nothing factual about anything. Like it's clearly
they don't want that story being talked about. We knew they didn't want that shit being talked about. As soon as we talk about that shit, it was like, yo, hey, ixnay on the dead chick. Like
this wasn't the first video that's been taken down. Mike's has a history of this.
Also,
yeah, he's kind of savage.
I think hurtful. I think personally that the free R. Kelly commercial did not do us any justice.
Yo, didn't that
I
one
immediately called you about that?
Yo. Isn't that the one that like got like mad views and shit like that on Instagram as soon as you put it out?
We are up to about 20,000 views of that on Instagram to the point that I feel like Chris Tucker one day is going to roll up and snuff me. And I'd be so sick because like, one, I'm going to have to fight Chris Tucker. Two, like, bro, I didn't mean it. Like, you were there, bro. That happened. Like, I'm not trying to minimize the facts in the situation. That actually did occur. You were on the plane. You went to the island.
He talked about that in an interview.
What'd he say?
He said that he was like, yeah, I was on that plane, but he was like, that plane was going to Africa. He was like, for a youth something. He was like, I've never actually been to the island. He was like, yes, I was on that guy's private plane. He was like, but I was with Bill Clinton and them, and there was a bunch of other actors and stuff like that. He was like, and it was to like, he was like, it's like a youth fun thing in Africa. And he was like, I never been to that island. He was like, I don't know that man like personally like that. He was like, I met him because we was on this plane and all that stuff.
Okay. Let's dissect that story.
Yeah, I
just
know,
because there's something about that like, all right, if you are supposedly chilling with the child trafficker. Now, I've never had the experience myself personally to do so. Never looking forward to it. Never looking to even cruise it. But if you're with someone who generally does these things, and the way that they go about doing them is by going to small countries or non-attentive countries that where there's very vast land that you could pretty much get away with shenanigans. You're going with Bill Clinton, Jeffrey Epstein on the Lolita Express to do a youth program something in Africa. To me, that sounds like the re-up.
Wait. Don't quote me on youth. It might be a youth program, but it was like something like Save the World, like social. It was a social gathering.
Don't give this man no ammo, bro. Don't give him no ammo.
Yeah.
It's not that you're giving me ammo. It's think about what that argument is like, yo, dogs.
Now, once I said youth, I was like, wait, I'm gonna have to fact my check. I'm gonna have to fact check myself.
I'm gonna have to fact my check.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to fact my check because
now you think about that though. Like I said, if you're in the right, it is insinuating. And what I'm doing is I'm doing what I always do, bro. Troubleshooting. I'm taking a problem, I'm analyzing the situation, and I'm just trying to figure some shit out. And from what that sounds like, I was ready to just be like, oh, he was on a plane going to Hollywood. Okay, because I read something that was interesting afterwards that was in regards to somebody on Reddit, or actually, no, I'm lying. Somebody had responded to our post and was like, oh, let's get it straight. He was the only black dude there, and that's why there was no other black dudes there, because he went back and told everybody, like, yo, it was a bunch of fuckery, and like, nah, I'm not trying to get down with this shit anymore. And I was like, okay, cool. That sounds believable. Now, you just told me his personal defense of the situation was, in fact, that they picked up, they landed, they did something to help the youth. Something with some younger folk got, done. Facts. But after that, that's, once again, it's, hey, Chris, are we dropping you off in California because us and these 7 tribal children we just kidnapped, we're hitting the Caribbean? Like, what do you do?
Let's switch this up before this gets taken down, too.
Anyway, so what else you guys got going on? Yo, Ed's wedding was dope. Like, I definitely didn't even get to highlight at that. Like, I really wanted to put into, because that whole pants situation was hilarious. But let me tell you, like, Ed's wedding, for the most part, I cannot, and I'll straight up give it to him. Yo, shout out to Mrs. Snobria, because you did a hell of a job. Let me be the first to tell you, we were all smitten. Everyone had a fucking wonderful time.
Oh yeah, I haven't had such a good time in a long time. Like, it was just they had me dancing salsa, bro. I don't dance salsa outside.
Can we talk about yo? So let's talk about dancing outside. So shout out to Castro and his lady, because bruh, there are videos. So I've watched like the exclusive like footage. Of course, they have the professional cameras. Then you got every one of us doing our camera thing. Like, there is maybe, in the hours worth of footage I've seen, 26 seconds that Castro's not dancing. That's when the food is there. And I'm not talking about like dogs out there two-stepping. I'm talking about like, yo, him and his lady were, yo, dogs, they're the highlight video. It's them and the NFL robot. Those are the highlight videos. They are killing it.
Yo, I
did see pictures of the robot, and I did see pictures of you all suavemente. So I was like, okay.
I wouldn't say you all. I'm not the best salsa stepper, but me and my lady definitely got out there when, when it got ratchet. That's when we got out there, and everyone was having a great time.
When it was time to get funky, and it was like, hey.
I got the best is
I missed the electric slide. We was doing shots.
So funny that you bring that up, though. One of the best videos I have is definitely of my wife, your wife, and Mrs. G, Big Mama. She was out there, and they were all doing it perfectly in line, cup in a hand. Mama G was holding a baby, and like, yo, did not miss a single step, man. And also, they had the Fox 5 NFL guy there, the giant robot. I thought that was so cool.
Yeah, that's hard as hell.
Yeah,
I thought that was a guy in a suit.
He
Was it a
came
guy
out
in a
of
suit?
nowhere. It was crazy. Yeah, it is a guy to sue. I saw him get it ready.
That's tough.
Aw, ruining movie magic.
Yeah,
I like to think it was him. Like, he came up right on it. Yo, he was ready for the game. That's he figured it out while I'm here.
Facts. He was like, yo, let's party.
It was a fun time though. Food was great. Music was good.
Excellent.
It was just good time. Everybody, the whole fam was there, you know, the gang.
Yo, dude, once again, I cannot. My hat is completely off to them. Shout out to Ed and G. Love you guys both. Like, it's definitely awesome time.
That's tough. I want to go to a wedding.
Bro,
I don't know nobody getting married.
It was the first wedding I ever been to on my side. I usually go with my wife because her people still believe in it. But like, no one in our family gets married.
I know, that's what I'm saying. All these Puerto Rican marriages.
I swear to God, like, I felt like, I remember hearing the term when we were younger, and I heard it when I first got to like a dominantly white area. And that's when I knew I was like, oh, people aren't going to like me here. Like, when they say shit like, they're like, oh, these guys are Puerto Ricanly married. I was like, fuck that mean. They was like, oh, when you just been so long, when you've been together long enough that the state acknowledges it, but, you know, you're not putting a ring on it, so you got no real commitment. And I remember being stupid offended. And then I remember as I got older and I started peeping shit, and even my own relationship up until I got money, like, yeah, man, that seems to be the will of the land. It sucks trying to explain that to people because my in-laws are very like classy, like dogs. They do weddings, they do parties, they did like they're a party loving. I couldn't have asked for a better family to marry into. But when they say certain shit to me, it makes me feel like garbage because they're like, oh yeah, you know, when you do XYZ at a wedding, and I'm like, nah, but man, I could tell you where to put a garbage can full of beer at a baby shower.
Facts.
Yeah, there was some things at the wedding that I thought we were supposed to do that we didn't do.
Because you know it from TV, or because like you've actually been other weddings?
Because I've been to 2 other weddings.
Oh, fancy, man.
One of them I was in my uncle's wedding. I was the ring boy, and then the other one was my boy.
Fancy.
So
you were in a wedding.
Yeah, I was the ring boy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You were in a wedding.
Fire.
But I thought like when they take off the girdle, you're supposed to put the girdle on the new girl, on the girl that catches the bouquet.
Oh,
that's why.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
I was told that I had to catch the girdle.
Oh, yeah,
she caught the bouquet.
Yeah, so apparently that's the other thing that we definitely was quiet kept is in the midst of this. So I step out with me and Big Purr. We went outside to, I think we went to go smoke and like check on D because like I was like, yo, we left him. You know, let's see what the fuck he's up to. So as we do that, we come back in and everyone's like, you missed it. Castro and his lady is walking around doing their NFL dance because apparently she caught the bouquet and he caught the, what's it called?
I think it's called the girdle, right?
Yeah, that's what it's called. I think. I swear.
Leg panty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the leg panty.
The wedding leg panty.
Yeah, the wedding leg panty.
Yeah, whatever.
But apparently they came out dynamic duo. So I'm like, oh, y'all are just here stealing thunder. Like, y'all are out here just trying to.
But good thing you caught it, though, because you had to.
Well,
right?
This was the funny part because John went around as, you know, we lining up to catch. Mm-hmm. John's going around and telling other people that don't know me, yo, his girl caught the bouquet. Move out the way if you don't want to get knocked out.
Which is a realistically funny thing to say.
And I'm looking at him like, yo, bro, you can't be saying that to these people. They probably gonna think like you're serious.
Yeah.
But he probably was serious saying that. But bro, we're at the wedding. Like, you wildin'.
Okay, I will step in his defense, and I will say, I feel like that's just good prep information. Like, hey, bud, you know, it's all fun and games. But there's a good chance that he's had enough drinks that he may not acknowledge what's really going on at this moment and think you're stepping towards his lady. And that may end up in fiasco. So, hey, man, you do yourself. You don't want to catch it. You know, what are you doing? You want to be the center of attention?
It went in the air and everyone just cleared out.
Not even. Everyone came and did a handoff.
Yo, that's even better when they don't even hike it and they just hand it off.
He just handed it off to me like, here, you take it.
Yo, that's hilarious.
Like, you should at least lined up on the goal line, though.
Put up shoulders to try to just really know what time it was. That's mad funny. But yeah, man, like I said, all in all, fucking wonderful time. Thank you again for having us. Like, dude, beautiful, beautiful ceremony.
Yeah, that shit, it was fun.
But then, like, it just led to, like, mad afterward fuckery. Like, me and Sabz went to dinner for my mother-in-law the other night, which, shout out to Mama Chrissy. Love you.
Woo!
Yeah, it's my lady.
It
but, yeah, man.
Was Chef kiss.
Yo, Ruth Chris was definitely, it was a great move. Great move.
No, Ruth Chris is great, bro. The best thing I love from Ruth Chris though is the sweet potato casserole.
Oh, you see, you went super in depth in the menu.
Yeah,
We didn't
bro.
even do
Yeah.
all that.
Oh,
Oh, I gotta try that now though. That sounds dumb fire.
Nah, but don't get it as because they serve it as a side. Don't
Mhm.
get it as a side. Get it as a dessert
Oh.
because it's mad sweet.
Yo.
Oh.
So get that with a side of ice cream.
Son,
Lit.
what type of fat hack bullshit was that?
I like that though. He just finessed the game.
No, time out. So I'm sitting here in the prep. I'm listening to this. I'm like, okay, now I'm not the biggest sweet potato, but you know, if it's made right, okay. And he's like, yeah, you don't get it as a appetizer, you get it, or a side, you get it as, and I'm thinking he's gonna say main course. He goes, dessert.
Yo,
And I was like, yo, bro, see, it's motherfuckers like you with metabolisms like you that I'm like, don't like, I'm gonna have that after a steak, bro. Like, you
yeah,
kidding
like
me?
I was ordering like a whole plate of it to go like with my meal and
yeah,
shit,
or
like-
together, like they do
Yeah.
a chop up.
You could do it, but like I said, I prefer it better as a dessert. It's because it's sweet.
Yeah, but you also don't gain no weight and don't have diabetes. So I mean,
Also, I
like, you can
guess.
have that opinion.
I guess.
Me, that whole
I
thing
can eat
just
that.
yeah, good for both of you who both can slam food. I'm not gonna lose a foot over nobody's sweet casserole, bro.
Or
But yeah,
sweet
that's my
casserole is
favorite shit
different.
from Ruth. I get that sweet potato after the steak. Oh man, right to bed after that.
I still think the funniest though was casually just seeing Joe Budden,
Yo,
Yeah.
facts.
and the fact that like no one else was like really like, you know, I was like, oh shit, that's Joe Budden. Like,
But that's what we do. We're not the type of people that's gonna say, "Oh, someone, oh shit, let's go get an autograph or a picture." We're gonna see, like, now that I see him there, I'm gonna probably try to avoid him.
yeah, dude, that's so
Yeah,
funny.
That's how I felt too. Like,
Like-
Joe Budden. Walk past him like I don't know that's Joe Budden, but I know
like
that's
he's my favorite rapper and all that. I would have still probably just
Yo.
walk right by him. Like,
You remember the Boondocks episode? Like
I ain't
yo,
tryna-
I ain't trying to dick ride or nothing,
Bro, what is the okay? So that's another. Me and V been friends. Button is definitely my favorite rapper too. Like I don't care what I came up in the mixtape era. I came up in the battle scene era. Like that man. No, and podcasting. He's what inspired us to really start fucking getting rocking behind podcasting because we realized that you can say a lot more. You get a lot like through music. Now I've never been a rapper myself. I'm not musically inclined that way. But yo, Joe Budden. On like a serious note is like kind of a big deal just in my mind as far as just people who you grow up admiring who's still currently relevant despite all the negative positive thing whatever and
they
it was
always
like
got a little hate campaign for him every about 3 to 4 months it comes out. But you know, he does say a lot of wild shit.
okay nah but there you know there's something very important to me about that and I'm gonna explain that shit in a second because I was thinking about just that when we got the response that we did. So I see him, I'm with Sabz, my pops was with us. Like I said, my in-laws birthday, so boom, go back there and I'm like, yo, Joe Budden's out there. And yo, my brother Deshaun is mad funny. My brother-in-law, he just looks at me and goes, y'all should just go out there and be like, pump it up, what up? And like he was mad, matter of fact, like dead sincere about it. And I was just like, please don't do that. And he was
Don't
like,
do that. He got
nah,
a
I ain't
steak
gonna-
knife.
no, Day's not the type that cares. But he was like, it's mommy's birthday. So by all means. So then I'm like, so we're going back and forth at this point. This is when we were trying to find my mother-in-law because the rain had everybody fucked up. Like the weather was terrible. So I go back and that's when I say to Sabz and my pops, they getting ready to cut out. And I'm just like, yo, look, that's Joe Budden right there. And like, they both just casually look. And it was just like, oh shit, that is Joe Budden. And like,
just like that.
just, all right. And we just like kept, but the fact that he was eating by himself, like he looked so in the zone and just like he had his headphones on and everything. And I was just like, wow, like the general gusto it takes to go sit down in a restaurant at that, in a restaurant, not like Burger King or some like, you know, sandwich shop, like to sit in a restaurant by yourself, have what I can assume is a fucking fine 3-course meal because I had it.
Yeah,
So I can only imagine what he with the big pockets is affording. They gave him the off menu.
he got the wagyu.
He definitely got the wagyu cut, chilling. And like I said, headphones on, not talking. He was having a conversation. And what caught me is I was high and I was walking to the door to go smoke a cigarette because I said I was waiting on my mother-in-law. And I just hear the voice and I go, motherfucker sound like Joe Budden, like raspy ass voice. And then I turn around and I peeped and I was like, that is Joe Budden. But then I was like, I'm also high. Like I could just be like me being like, oh my God, it's Joe Budden. But it's really not. Like, whatever. So I come back in and the person, I don't know if it was the server, the bartender, they were just like, hey, Joe, blah, 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 blah. And he was just like, oh, thank you. And just to hear the way that he was speaking, Like, to legitimately hear the way that he just was carrying on normal conversation, like the way that there was no type of
eliteness.
Not even elite. There was no type of like there was no type of complex of superiority in any way. Like, it wasn't like, even if he, because when people become like a regular at a place and they'll be like, oh well, the right, they're like this. He was so pleasantly spoken. And like, but not pleasantly to the point that I've met other people as of late who were like, famous, and they're very soft spoken. I assume that comes from having to always be outspoken as far as like, being on TV or you're in the movies, da 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 da. So to hear him just have the same casual, very respectful, very laughing, like I don't know who he was at the bar with. They look somewhat famous, but I also like two other people were just casually there. Dogs, chillest thing. And once again, I'm just eavesdropping as I'm walking back and forth. And I go in the back. And I'm like, oh man, Joe Budden was just here. Like, that's pretty cool. And the funniest shit started happening. So now, mind you, my in-laws are definitely, a couple of them are pastors, like active pastors. And it's just like a bunch of older women, then a bunch of younger girls, like, what I'm saying? Me, my brother, my father, like, boom, boom. My uncle-in-law, who's up there, starts spitting bars. Like, he's like, oh shit, Joe Budden. And I thought he was going to do, because they did the pump it up shit again. And then he was like, that's what I'm talking about. I'm like, yeah, and he does podcasts. And he just started spitting, I don't know where it was from. Maybe it was from the shit with him and Joel Ortiz, the Warfare verse. But spit that shit. And then her aunt, who's also a pastor, followed up. And they was going this and then going with the cadence. And I was just like, oh, yeah, I should have asked this motherfucker to come back here. Like, I didn't want to be weird to him and be like, hey, dude, listen, it's my mother-in-law. Like, I know she knows who you are. Like, but the rest of the family, I don't want to be that guy. Yeah. The way these motherfuckers, I was like, yo, bro, they was like, why ain't you saying nothing? Like, he was like, yo, I'm chilling back. Like, yo, he could have came and ate with us. Da, 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 da. And I was like, next time. But the funniest is I immediately text you about that shit. Because I was just like, yo, he's here. Like, that's mad weird.
Me and John, my lady, we went to the hookah spot. Wine and Spirits, I think it's called.
Oh yeah, the one that's where 50 threw the chair at the dude.
Yes. And we
Jersey landmarks.
Yeah. We walked in there, and as soon as I walked in, look at the bar. No, as soon as I walk in places, I look at the exits and who's there.
Of course,
analyze your surroundings.
Yeah, we have to. So I look around the exits. Got the exits. I look at the bar, and Joe Budden's manager was right there, sitting at the bar by himself on his laptop, headphones on. Same thing, like you said, be mad polite, regular. He's a regular there.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just cool. Had his little hookah there, had his little drink. We was only there for about 45 minutes, had a little burger and a hookah and bounced.
But still, like I said, I like seeing people who are like, especially, they're notorious for being loud and outspoken or whatever in the media. And then all of a sudden, like, they're like the nicest people. That's so dope, bro. Like,
but he says that shit on the pod all the time. That there's Pod Joe and then there's JoJo. He got to put a little pizzazz on to be top 25 podcast on all genres for fucking 7 years straight. You got to put a little pizzazz on your podcast.
No, by all means,
Which I understand why you be getting your videos pulled down with your pizzazz, but we just gotta just tone your pizzazz just a little down, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, I'm not disagreeing.
Maybe instead of 2 sprinkles, 1 sprinkle.
Yeah, no, I'm not disagreeing. It's a lot of topic matter. Now, okay, I wanted to bring this up because this is the rabbit hole that I got down. I'm not trying to, just like you said, I'm not trying to dick ride because what was my first thing? My father was like, oh, did you say anything? And I was like, I ain't trying to dick ride, bro. Like, what's something, man? I'm eating steak, he eating steak, bro. Like, the fuck? You know what I'm talking about?
I'm trying to be on your beef or nothing. But,
yeah, bro. Like, hey, man.
While eating beef, I'm not trying to be on your beef. But,
I know your breath smells like garlic mashed potatoes, and I know mine probably does because I had the house salad, and the house salad had mad onions in it. So, like, I'm aware. I don't, But but even then, like, the funniest is when I said it to you, and you was like, you ain't saying nothing, and I was like, nah, I'm not a weirdo. And then you was like, good, because that motherfucker be getting tight over people talking while he eats. And I thought about that shit, and I was like, imagine. Like, I'd have been the one who pissed him off. Like, I'd have been dumb sick, bro.
I hate when people talk to me when I eat, too.
Yeah, bro.
He would have said, "Oh, you guys pod? Let me get the names of all your pods." We would have been blackballed.
Bro, that's the other thing too. Our whole media production company would have been shot. But that's the other thing too, because somebody else, because shout out to GB. GB said that shit to me. He was just like, yo, bro, nothing for nothing. You could have said something like that. And I'm like, yo, bro, I'm so not that person. Like, I just don't have it in me. I don't care what the situation. I don't care who the celebrity is. Like, unless it's something casual conversation where I'll be like, hey, because I had an incident recently with I met somebody else through somebody for a different situation, but I had like it was nothing out of malice. I was like, hey man, I really enjoy XYZ, and then he was like, oh man, thank you, blah 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 blah. I wish they didn't cancel the project that I going for, and I was just like, oh that's nice, and then my people's looking at me like, yo, why you did that, you dork? Like, what's wrong with you? And I was just like, it was dorky, admittedly. Like, it was a weird move on my part, but it was just so he's not a fucking. This person wasn't like A-list like that. It was somebody who I like. You do a lot of passion projects, you could tell, like a lot of weird shit. And I'm a weird person, so I just want you to know that, like, I appreciate you. So it wasn't like that. But in this situation where I'm like, yo, I'm podcasting, I got a media group, I got my homies that I'm like, it rubs too close. I would never impose. Like, that's so weird to me. But in that same breath, though, would it, in retrospect, thinking have made my mother-in-law's day for him to come back there and be like, hey, happy birthday, old man, sexy deep voice, like, hey, happy birthday. Like, she would have been fucking smitten. And I fucked that up.
Maybe. It's okay. Next time.
There's a 50-50 chance on what could have happened on either end. Could have went bad, could have went good.
I'm also extremely socially awkward, so I would have been like, yo, Mr. Budden. I'm like, what's up, bro? I'm not a cop. I'm gonna be the first to tell you that one. I'm not stopping you for any reason. My body language.
You're not detained.
Yeah. No, but all right. So here's what I actually wanted to bring up about it. And once again, not on the dick riding sense, but as far as a matter of genius when it comes to staying relevant. So like you were just saying, like he stays getting in trouble every couple months for some shit that he actively says. He prides himself, and once again, this is just grown up on it, like always knowing what he's saying. There's very rare time
he knows what he's saying and why he's saying it, and what's gonna come with saying it.
Now, once again, I admire people who don't mind painting themselves as the bad guy because they know that it'll. It sounds shitty, but it's gonna outlast everything else. Agreed.
I always say, what is it? Fear is love. Respect lasts longer than love, but fear lasts longer than both.
Of course.
So,
but here's the thing, though. Being feared also brings tire. Like, it makes you tired. Fear is not something that can emotionally last long. Even people who are captured overseas, it's just like it's a random reach, but it's a mental exertion point. You're captured, and people who are in jail, people who are locked up for a certain amount of time, despite the fear of not knowing, what can happen every day, you're locked in the same situation. At every point, you reach a point of emotional exhaust where you can no longer be feared. There becomes a lot of people who rather be, y'all been a prisoner for this long, y'all hope they execute me. Like that becomes a mental thing, and that's it's a shitty way of saying it, but that is a great example overall of like the mental condition of humans. Like, yo, dogs, after a while, shit just becomes monotonous. It becomes boring. It becomes redundant. So I say that in the comparison of people who, like podcast musicians, like when you could come out hot, bro, and you can produce, but if you're not, even if it's consistent, say it's great, say you put out the best product ever. If you're putting out the same product for 8 years, like people are gonna grow tired of it.
Oh, yeah, you gotta find a way to reinvent yourself, or spice up.
Spice up.
You know what I mean? There's everything. That goes with everything in life, with relationships, with everything. There's people be married for 30 years and then all of a sudden become swingers. So
yeah, facts. Florida folk.
Basically.
We just categorize the whole state.
Don't go to a retirement home or the retirement community, like the gated communities, and go to the pool and don't think that somebody's not gonna try to
yeah, you're getting a finger somewhere, bro.
Yeah.
Hey
yo, listen, at that point,
still a charge.
Not in Florida.
Not in Florida. That's okay.
One, not in Florida, and I do believe that there's an age of expiration. You don't know if that finger was a tickle finger or maybe to help your prostate. True. Like you said, at that point. But I say as far as
that one, you're trying to save them. You just want to make sure everything's good.
Yeah, and you want to be the one who makes sure they do it.
Retired doctor, he's gonna say, "Oh, just give him a free prostate exam."
Hey, I saw him a little brown spot, a little melanoma. Figured I'd just pop up there and check. But I say that to say that the one thing I give him, and this is something just as I've noticed, just because I'm a fan of podcasts, I'm a fan of the genre. I listen to literally everything. I listen from the big popular ones like him, Joe Rogan, Lex Friedman. Like I listen to the big, but I even listen to like the bullshit ones that have like 20 fans, Like I listen to I listen to a lot of those murder podcasts. I'm a fan of auditing.
Mhm.
I'm a fan of auditors. I'm a fan of storytellers. I listen to like horrible comedians. I'm a fucking Legion of Skanks fan, which is probably the absolute worst podcast in the world as far as representation. But if you're a fan of funny and like genuine people and like people's attempts, it is a great fucking show.
Mhm.
Racist, sexist, mean, illegal in a lot of states, I'm pretty sure, for the shit that they say and do.
I was just gonna ask what kind of funny, because when you said funny, I was gonna ask if it's your funny or funny.
No, it's my funny, and I'm not gonna die on the hill. You're kind of funny. You like knock jokes. You're a knock joke
I
guy.
like all jokes. I just don't like
No.
racist jokes.
No, you're not.
Well, I
you
like
don't-
racist jokes, just not extremely racist jokes.
No, you're a knock joke guy. You don't like funny. I tried to explain to you some shit the other day that was funny, and I had to break it down to you skill by skill of what got me to. But it's not just you though, because I had to do this
Yeah.
with my wife.
No, but it was
Like, it's
also
not
the
just-
group chat of 6 other people that didn't find it funny either.
I will go on stance and say that Ken Do, if you hear this, I know Ken Do thought it was funny. Because Ken Do shares my sense of fucked up humor.
Maybe-
Except he also
maybe Kenny.
Yeah,
maybe.
he's a broad burner, but yeah, he also likes like Ali Wong and like pro-feminist fucking stupid humor. But whatever, I'm not
I like Ali Wong.
knock jokes, is my point. So I say all that to say that one thing Joe Budden does, he makes sure to self-sabotage every couple of months. And what that does is it makes him a pivotal arguing point. And then you have to pressure yourself into being like, okay, for example, when I made the comment that I saw him, someone immediately made a rape joke. I'm no one to knock these jokes. All right. Like I said, I'm here for the state of funny. All knowing that basically what they're saying isn't actually the case. The fact that was something that was immediately brought up, and he was like, he wasn't hanging out with you. He was over there discussing open rape cases, and I was like, whoa, like
This shit is funny though, because if you think about it, the outrage of what the last thing he said is something that I can almost guarantee 97% of men at some time in their age between when they lost their virginity at whatever age they lost it to their adulthood have done. You know what I mean?
I'm not gonna condone
Uh,
just for YouTube purposes. I'm not gonna condone.
I don't
it.
even remember what he did. Didn't he just like try to like hit on some chick like on the pod or some shit?
No, but
Oh no!
I forgot
that
what
was
it, but
so
what
many
they-
controversies ago.
Yeah,
Oh, he did
I
something.
forgot they have a
else.
term for it now. I think they call it
Stealthing.
stealthing. Yes,
Stealthing.
when you pretend to put the rubber on and then go in, and then most likely she's gonna notice after a couple pumps and say, "Hey, put the condom on." And you put the condom on.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Also, he got bagged for that.
He openly admitted it.
He said it on the
Ah.
pod.
Oh, and people were mad about it.
Yeah, so they took down the episode, edited that part out, and put it back up.
Yeah, which is
It's kinda
once
funny.
again, it's hilarious.
That's
It is hilarious. But once again, I will that tactic. No one understands better than I do, because once again, the reason that a week episode from before Ed's wedding didn't come out is because I did a little choppage, sent it over to Castro was like, we got to cut some things. All right, but my whole point is, like I said, that amount of resurgence through controversy is interesting because it sounds shitty to say, but people are more. When it comes to an audio medium, and this is me personally speaking, when it comes to an audio medium, I feel like people are more attached to the journey and growth than they are to the end result of it. Like once I see you reach the end and you are top dog, there's not much that's going to keep me compelled as a fan, because I'm also a fan not looking at you like a religious figure. Do I think that there are diehards in every situation that are like, no matter what, I'm going to stand by, I'm going to listen every week. I don't get, yeah, okay. That's not me. You know what I'm saying? I personally don't have the wherewithal to just be like, oh, you had another great weekend. That's cool. I just had to like possibly stick up somebody because they were trying to stick me up. Like it was like we had like a standoff situation. As I'm listening to the pod, that we're not going through the same things.
Yeah.
When you were struggling, by all means, man, you feel camaraderie. So what I feel like he does is throws himself on a fire to get down with the common man. I actually come to think about it, after hearing how well spoken he was and how just polite and happy, and like the way that he walked, and like just you could tell a lot by somebody's manner, especially somebody like me who spent most of their life outside just watching like So you could tell a lot about somebody the way that they carry, especially when they're dolo. Because he was so lazy. No security, no, he was so lazy. Very casual. Hey, man, you guys have a good night. Hey, man, we'll talk. You know, whoever he was talking to now, whether I know if that was sincere or not, it was a very fluent gesture. Like, it seemed cool. And I was like, oh, you ain't the monster everybody else makes you out seem. Man, I bet Alex Jones was cool. Like, and now that made me think, like, man, I bet in public, man, you probably cool as shit, man. But I say it was an interesting situation. And it made me think about how he's kept longevity opposed to everyone else who seems to have burnt out in some aspect.
Didn't they take all of like Alex Jones like properties and assets and all that kind of shit right now?
I don't fucking know, man.
Yeah,
That shit's so hard to follow.
He's fighting a crazy case if it's not already done.
Bro, he's fighting several crazy cases. I hate to even put it out there like this, but like
he be saying, wow, shit.
Yeah, nah, he be wilding. I
He's a
be
wild
telling
boy.
him that he be
Way too
wilding.
much.
he's a wild boy. Nah, he's a wild boy. But yo, you gotta remember,
You
like,
be telling Alex Jones.
I be telling him that because he be trying to put me on and you know send little video clips of to the group chat or the Alex Jones podcast or whatever it's called. I don't know what it's called.
it's not a podcast, it's a lifestyle.
So yeah,
Jones lifestyle.
and I be telling him, you know, but like, he be wilding, and he's like, "Nah, what are you talking? You just don't get it. It's not. You don't get this humor." I'm like,
Oh, but that's the thing though, because he's not a comedian though. So you gotta remember, dogs, the way that we were raised, the only way I am able to deal with life is by viewing everything through some sort of fucked up comedic lens. So when I see something that I'm like, oh my God, this is horrible, you have to take that moment to go, yo, this is life. This is really happening. Someone sincerely feels this way and is taking that opportunity to voice that opinion. That is fucking hilarious. Why? Because they could just shut the fuck up and move on, but they don't. And that's funny. How is that wrong?
you see what I mean?
I see both sides. I see both
he
sides.
sees it because he
But-
thinks the same way.
Because
That's why.
that's because you bred him that way. We were just having this conversation earlier about why he doesn't go outside.
Yeah.
Why he doesn't go clubbing. Now he doesn't go outside. Why he doesn't go clubbing? It's because if you have put the too many people, I don't want to be there thing in his brain, and now he's
Well,
don't
that
want to be
doesn't-
around people.
That doesn't solely come from me though. We were raised just in that type of keeping it circle. Like when you're not outside, like that's just
Man, everybody else be outside.
who's everybody else. Name one of my other siblings that be outside.
Well, I said well, we talking about raised. We're talking about like how we were raised because we were all raised together.
Okay, but I'm talking about my household. We've always been homebodies. I come from a collection of homebodies. That's what we do.
You was outside. You was just outside getting high in the staircase while we were playing ball.
I was outside for a different reason though. You got to remember, the age
was
gap
different.
wise, it was different though because I never
You was playing basketball and you was smoking some weed.
son what was my job? I stood by the bench. I held the pack. I did what I did. But my whole point is I was raised in that outside kid sense. Once we got a home and weren't living fucking 12 deep in a one bedroom, it became different. People got to understand the importance of space. Ergo, also 90% of the shitty times growing up going outside, something horrible would happen. And it's not a thing because we literally have like receipts of how many. So at one point it became like,
What
yo,
I say.
when people go outside looking for a reason to fucking be negative, like dogs, I love going to like college towns or like weird suburban shit where everyone is generally outside with the concept of like, nah, man, I just want to have fun. I'm not going outside to start beef. Because there is dudes in New York growing up who legitimately would walk out the crib on a Friday night like, oh yeah, I'm going to knock somebody out tonight. And that's the thing.
a fact.
Girls could be putting butt in their face and they're like, yeah. But that's the generation we came up in though.
You don't think that somewhere in the middle of Wisconsin there's a Billy walking through the cornfield
100%.
thinking that same thing?
100%. That's why I said college towns where everyone's just drugged
Wisconsin
up.
is a college town, right?
No.
There's not a college football team.
Wisconsin's a
college
whole
football
state.
team.
But yeah,
There's
like
not a
they do.
yeah.
Yeah, they do have a.
There's
Football
a,
team.
they have a
Yeah, they
football
got
team,
Green
so there's
Bay.
a college team.
Well, I mean,
I
like
was
a
talking about
college team.
team.
Like I said, the only reason I say college is because everyone is so more preoccupied with being horned up. You know what I'm saying? Then
But the college crowd, well, we're kind of too old to be around the college crowd. Like I
I don't go outside anyway.
Oh no, I was just saying because like the other day, I was had a bad week. You already know how we've been going.
Yeah,
with work,
it's been a
you know,
rough.
so
It's been a rough
stop and
couple
stuff.
months.
And so on last Thursday, I went to go get some wings and a beer to watch the first half of the game. And I'm there, and it's a whole bunch of college kids and girls around us. It's me and wifey, and I'm looking around like, yo, these people are fucking annoying.
OD.
But it's just because they did, drinking mad vodka, getting drunk and IPAs, and the annoyingness comes out of them.
Yeah, but like I said, they're not there with the attempt at malice. Are they loud? Yeah.
But
Bro.
that loudness could, depending on who they're around, could attract the malice.
It could, depending on who they're around. Like I said, everything becomes circumstantial. Once again, had we have had a majority of times where we would go to parties in like I don't know, I'd say wealthier areas, maybe shit would have been better. But no, we were project party hoppers. Like we was going hood to hood. We was going to spots that like were cheap to get in. There's no reason that Continental was like a setup spot, because why? It was 5 shots for $10. Bar 13, you could buy a fishbowl for $23. Like, bro,
but those are college bars though.
Understand that in New York, college bar and poor people bar are the same thing. Dogs, down the hatch, Dollar Tuesdays.
Yeah, but that's still a college bar. Like a poor people bar is like a little pub, like that's dark and gloomy.
No, that's
those
not.
Those Wolverine in.
Yeah, like somebody's definitely had planted a revolver in one of the toilet tanks. Yeah. Like that's a poor bar.
No, that's not a poor bar. What that is a pub, and it's for working class people. And the only reason you know what that is because all of us here are union members, and that's what a Friday night is. Okay, I'm aware of that, and that's the other thing too that I grew up to understand, that these are generally going to be the happier places, because while going to the Aces and Eights may produce younger women, bigger titties, they're also producing some dickhead who's from the Upper East Side who thinks he's better than everyone else, and then your brother has to hit him with a police barrier. All right? Things like this happen.
Shout out, Tanky.
Yeah, shout out, Tank. But things like this happen because, like, once again, I'm not an outside. I'm happy being a homebody, dogs. When I want to go out and have fun.
I like being home a lot more.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You shut the fuck up. You're an outdoor cat. You never knew what the inside is.
I like being home a lot more now. I said. I didn't say I like being home. I said a lot more.
Yeah, because you got responsibilities. You have to go home, dogs. If it was up to you, you'd be like Pesos and you'd be on benders for 4 days.
No, I wouldn't.
Bruh.
2 days max.
Bruh, so the day after the wedding, we're all doing like the check-in, da-da-da-da-da. Well, your man Pesos is still sending messages that, because he nailed the best man thing. He killed it. I'll give him that. He fucking killed it. Did everything right. Had everyone going. Set the tempo. Beautiful speech. Took care of all the ins and outs beforehand when it was Bridezilla time. Yo, killed it. He was so proud of himself, though. He went on a binge. We didn't, the wedding was, I didn't hear from him till like Tuesday morning.
He still had his suit on.
He still had his suit on. And the best part was, he video messaged me asking me something I didn't even understand at the time. But all it is the camera facing up and him on a bus somewhere. Like just on a bus. And I'm like, yo, man, you don't look. He's like, I don't know. I'm all right, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? San Gennaro's tonight, though. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just going to go. Oh, I got tickets to the game. So, like, I was like, God damn, how are you still alive? Like,
yeah.
But that's the definition of another one who's an outdoor cat. Do they like being home? Sure, they like it. Is it something that they're going to do more times than they go out a week? No. That's just a place to change. Just a place. It's Superman's fucking phone booth.
Yeah.
Like that. That's all it is.
That's GB.
Shout out to GB.
Shout out to GB. He's definitely the outdoor cat of all outdoor
He's the king.
cats.
He's the king, bro.
He's top. What is it? Top
cat. Top cat.
Top cat.
Yeah.
That's the one that had the purple vest on, right? Yeah.
Top cat. No, he's balls to the wall. But like I said, man, sometimes being outdoors doesn't do you any justice, especially nowadays, bro. I really don't understand like a good deal of what's cool, what's not cool, why there's 14-year-old tribal gang members, and it's not for me, bro. I'm not an outside cat, bro.
These little kids is wilding.
Yeah, I don't understand it no more. So now it makes me real sketchy.
Joe,
I don't understand that.
Like I agree that like I'm not. They know I'm not their age no more. So it's like, damn, I'm making that middle. Like, damn, I can't fuck with old enough people because they know I ain't that old. But it's like I'm not young like that no more. So it's like I'm just trying to chill.
Yeah, you a casual target. That's why. That's how I feel. I'm like, yo, listen, young fella. All right, I don't want to be that guy, but listen, do what you're gonna do. Just that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, just that way, bro.
I constantly be seeing the little kids while I'm like, yo, y'all wilding, the cops is coming. Y'all better go home, man. You know? You shouldn't be doing what y'all doing.
Here's the funnier part, though. Is the cops aren't coming.
I know. I didn't say that just so they could disperse.
It's like, yo,
I live in the Bronx. They're not really coming in a timely manner. If they're not already around the corner, they're not coming in a timely manner.
Cops are not coming. Yeah, that's the other thing, too. That's the reason I don't want to go outside now is because, like, all right, that's the way I look at things. This is really the way I've been trying to... I find myself having to explain myself to, like, people who I talk to or, like, family that aren't from New York. So, like, they have a whole different concept of, like, what this new lawless America is like wherever they're from. So when I'm talking about it here, and I'm like, yeah, man, like if you're the casual, like minor criminal adult, like yo, you work a 9 to 5, but smoke bud, you probably got a side hustle, you know what I'm saying? You do like to go out and do your little 1-2 thing. Like you got to maneuver a certain type of way nowadays. And it's not for the simple fact of like, you know, you're doing something out of malice, is that there's so much chaos going on that at any moment, like 2 13-year-old drill dance teams could have a shootout. All right. Like right there. At any moment, you could be getting out of the train. And this is fucked up. Like, and I don't say this to be, I know it's, I'm saying it in a funny way, but just it's relatively speaking.
But you're telling the truth though, because I told y'all the other day, it was about 2 weeks ago, when there was a shootout right over my car. They was using my car as a moving fucking shield, as they shooting over my car.
Which, by the way, was still one of the funniest nonchalant texts that you sent in months.
Yo, that shit was crazy. I saw a shootout and a robbery within 7 minutes. Within 7 minutes, I witnessed a shootout and a robbery.
And you were just trying to go home.
And all I saw is in my mind, I'm like, damn, my license plate is on the scene of 2 crimes. They gonna come and knock on my door. They gonna think I did it.
Yo, which is crazy because how much of when he told me what happened, he was like, XYZ did XYZ. Mind you, he doesn't personally know any of these people, but was able to clearly visualize the situation from what happened because no one was being discreet about anything. It wasn't like a rip and run where they're like, oh, they got this dude, and possibly what's happened is like, nah, he openly tried sticking him up, got halfway up with the product, he started dumping. The other dude seen V making a turn, he started dumping, like, and he was just trying to get his groceries in the crib.
Yeah.
And once again, casual Monday. Just casual Monday.
I'm like, fuck.
It's like I said, you got to operate differently, but then also people are fucking whacked out of the mind. That's the other thing I'll be trying to explain to people. Like I envy people who come from general areas that are like everyone dominantly kind of feels the same way. Like you come across people who are like, yeah, I'm from fucking buttfuck Pennsylvania, and everyone there is like a Republican. Like they're not racist or anything, but they're all like real conservative and, you know, like shit like that. Like it makes sense. New York, Jersey, like, nah, bro, it's all mixed up. Everyone's fucking crazy for a different reason. Like, if you don't have these dudes who are having shootouts over God knows what now, because the drugs are pretty much easy in New York. So I don't know, this is over pussy and territory, clearly. But you see all these other people having these crazy issues, and then you deal with people who are just like, political party this and music that, and you're like, yo, I understand you feel a certain type, but there is no reason to be swinging an axe half naked in the middle of the park. Like that's not okay either.
Talking about McDonald's Axeman?
Yo, McDonald's Axeman, I wasn't even thinking about it, but you from here and tell me he wasn't justified.
Yo, them little kids was teeing off on him.
Thank you. 100%. They were teeing off. They were swinging, 3 of them. First off, 3 of y'all swinging the way that y'all was swinging, and the fact that all he did was make a grumpy face, that should say something to you. Yeah. That's Michael Myers shit.
Yeah, there's like, you lost this fight. Just leave while you still can.
You know what we're talking about, right?
Nah. But my nigga, where you be at?
It's inside.
This was on the news. Like, it wasn't even like an Instagram thing. This
I try not to watch that
news.
neither. That's so negative.
Nah, it is rather negative.
There was like 3 or 4 kids, probably like between 15 and let's say 19.
Bet.
They fucking with this dude. He got a book bag on. He looked like he homeless, but he may not be. I don't know.
Nah, bro, he was a biker, bro. He had the super high shorts.
Could have been that too.
Okay.
Super high shorts.
They arguing, all of a sudden, they just start teeing off on him. Boom, boom, boom. And he's just standing there making a face like, really, bro?
Bro, the grumpiest face you like, hey guys, quit
He's on the garbage can of the McDonald's with his hands on top of the garbage can, and they're just doom, 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 doom.
Dogs teeing on him, back of the head, side of the head, front of the head, teeing on him like he was in a corner, and it was 3 of them just working it.
They stop. He walks around the garbage can.
Casually.
Puts his book bag down.
Casually.
Opens it up.
Casually.
Pulls out a fucking axe.
Yeah.
And just starts like hitting shit. Like he didn't hit nobody, but he was just like intimidating them, but going around like, rah, like, and them kids, please, no. Yeah, your guy's not tough no more.
Oh, shit.
Well, first of all, that's how you know these kids weren't street kids, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because you thought the same thing I did, right?
Why you let him go in his book bag?
Soon as you're going to that bag, that's when I'm trying to flying knee kick you.
I'm either hitting you with everything I got, or I'm running.
Yeah, or I'm out.
Because obviously I was just teeing off on you. That really didn't do nothing. So most likely at this point, I see you go in your book bag, I'm running.
Exactly.
And that's the part that irked me, is because now, once again, he went over there. I don't know the full extent of the story. And what I will say is that I'm happy that the news ended up kind of not, I don't want to say justifying it, but they ended up kind of pretty much coming to his aid with a lot of shit and being like, yo, dude, like, I was minding my business. Like, bro, I'm a fitness bro. I'm there on a bike. Like, I don't know if he was sweet, but whatever. He had like the nice little 80s I work out and bike, skinny tank top. Yeah.
Type
Big
fit,
dude though. Big, like he was a solid dude.
He looked like whatchamacallit? What was the teacher from South Park?
Mr. Garrison?
Yeah, okay. Remember he had a boyfriend, the little sex slave too?
Yeah. He looked like Mr. Slave too. Yeah, the dark skinned Mr. Slave. I don't know how I felt about that sentence.
Oh no.
I want to take that back. I don't know how I didn't like that. Yeah. But let's just say a Latin Mr. Slave.
Yes, okay.
He did. He was Spanish, and mind you, he looked like he was late 30s, like he just like a chill neighborhood dude. Like, whatever he did, he rides his bike, because he was with another dude. It was like a little Spanish, little Filipino cat that came in there and was like, yo, my man, we gotta go. But you can also tell it was his man's, because when he seen shit going down, he grabbed his bag, he got his bike. Like, but they also wasn't there for the smoke. So apparently, like, the kids had said whatever to him. He responded in kind, like, nah, yo, fuck you. Like, this is New York. You're not going to get away with, anyone who's from here, you're not going to get away with calling pussy. It's in the DNA. It's part of your state license.
Yeah.
Like, somebody addresses you that way, you're going to address it. You know how many times I've got my ass kicked for addressing something? Yeah, it happens. I'm not, listen, you can say a lot of things. I'm not pussy. Fuck it. Like, I'm not smart. You know what I'm saying? I'm not in any way saying I'm not smart. I'm not tough, but I'm not pussy. So this guy, whatever. And what happened was these young guys were courting young ladies as well, because that became the funnier part. So just as Castro explained, he goes around and now he's like, oh, y'all want to play. Takes out his goddamn scalping.
It's just the X.
Bro, it was a scalping axe too. That was the tomahawk.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was business.
That shit was some shit that was in Dancing with the Wolves.
Joe,
Oh shit.
he wanted scalps.
He had the tribal piece.
Joe, he wanted scalps, bro.
Straight up Braveheart.
Joe. So, boom, bashes the table. Now, just from knowing structural integrity, the McDonald's tables are like the thick plywood on top, but they're the metal surrounding, and it's almost like kind of like a compressed wood. He destroyed that table in about one swing, like clean. I'm talking about he hit it so hard that the internals collapsed and that the framing stood the same. He then saw they had a glass partition and he bashed that shit. He then walked up to them and was like, oh, y'all tough. Now, that was the best part, though, because you seen how quick somebody was like, yo, chill.
No, we're not.
Biggest dude at him was like, yo, chill, yo, chill.
I'm sorry. Chill. Don't
He
kill
steps
us.
back. Another young cat walks over to him and he's just like, yo, you was the one doing shit. Bang, Wakata slaps him. Wakata slaps him again. He was just like, yo, you big, right? He was like, you big. The kid was like, nah, chill. Then the third fellow. Now, the third fellow just so happened to be sitting there with his young courtee. He then, and forgive me for this next part, but I would have had to kill that bitch. She's seen too much. Okay, there's no way that my ego, everyone in there with witness-wise, everyone's going to have to go. I've taken some embarrassing ass beatings in my life, but like, that sucker shit, he would have had to have killed me, all jokes aside, because, and it sounds stupid, and I'm not proud of this, but my pride, nah, Papa, we're going down. Like, I'm sorry to her, I'm sorry to everyone around, because like, fam, he walked up to him and was just like, oh, you tough. Yo, young lady, you find this gentleman tough? This young man's trying to get in your pants, he's trying to fuck your pussy, clap. And this kid's head just bucked. But he wasn't done there. He was trying to explain a point. He was like, the problem is that young men like this like to use bravado. And he was saying it very like
eloquently.
Yo, dogs.
Just whipping his ass and teaching lessons at the same time.
For real. Life lessons. Handing out life lessons for real.
He was reading all fucking IG quotes, slapping the shit out of him.
And boom, that's the other thing. I will give the dude this. You knew that he was a man about his, for the simple fact that everything he was saying with the added aggression was from the heart. So he was like, bah, this kind of nonsense is what leads people to getting into trouble in the future, because his bitch ass like that, bah, bah. And this kid is just getting hit. So once he's done KOing this kid and explaining this young lady about the wrong path that she's on, he then proceeds to the biggest gentleman of them. This guy was he looked like a young dude, but he had about 5'11", like, maybe 6 foot.
Yeah, he was definitely like 6'1". He was tall, slinky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was slim, you know what I'm saying? Big Slim, that kind of cat. Well, Slim, Slim got protected by his little 4'7" white chick. Because she jumped up on the chair and was like, don't do anything. As if my man was going to do something because he already had his hands up against the wall and was like, nah, please don't. Like, just, all right, man. Like, we clearly fucked up in this scenario. Don't chop me to pieces. Because he was like, you trying to impress these bitches. And like, now he's getting a little handsy. And I'm just like, huh. In another universe, this probably would have been one of the greatest after school specials.
Yo, son.
Like on some real shit.
That scared straight.
That shit was like a straight bully. The bully at Saved by the Bell, that little place that they used to go meet up at.
Oh yeah, the diner.
The diner, yeah. Right there, that would have been happening.
That would have been a great. If PBS is still a thing, I really do.
Little
hope
less
that they
violence,
do that
maybe
shit.
not an axe.
No, I think
maybe
for
a bat.
No, I think for modern times,
Biker chain.
biker chain. Biker chain's a hilarious step down from axe. Like I'll give you that.
It is better than an axe. Well, I think anything is better than an axe except like a gun.
I mean, depending, but you're not wrong. You know.
I thought the axe was the step down from the gun. That was why the axe was still acceptable.
Me
like,
too.
He had an axe.
Me too. Because
I think that's why the news didn't really crucify him.
Because how many people get shot these days? Like, this guy had an axe. Like, oh, he was getting creative.
Do you see why I said this story has a lot of redeemable qualities? And I think would be a great, because once again, the idea of trying to make things sugar-coated for kids now is out the window. You have the internet. So if you can make something as real as possible while still honing in a point, that was it. Oh, y'all want to be punks. Y'all trying to show y'all face because you see one dude, y'all are jumping somebody. Listen, I know the way I was raised. It's happened. I've done it is what it is. But the fact that y'all are just randomly trying to cost this person without any sense of malice other than a verbal altercation in front of young women because you're trying to show out.
Exactly.
Yo, this is the perfect storm for somebody in a pair of fucking 80s booty shorts, gym rat, like tight nipple tank top, high shorts, like nuts hanging out the side to scare you straight and then simply explain himself on the way out. He didn't hurt nobody directly. He didn't come at no one crazy. He didn't he went about it.
A little property. He could get a disorderly conduct charge, but other than that, he didn't do nothing. Maybe a brandishing a weapon type of charge.
I was about to say, but didn't a while back New York like pass some law like saying like all the types of like weirdo random ass weapons that you could roll around with and shit.
Yeah,
like you could do. It depends on who you are though too, because like if you have like a felony, you can't basically walk around with anything but pepper spray. And even at that, you got to have like a certain like caliber of pepper spray. You know how they got the real deal joints. And
you can't pack bear mace.
I was just about to say the bear mace.
They got the shit they sell at Dwayne Reed for your keychain. You know,
shit. You gotta hope it's still good after a month.
To protect your butt spray. I like
but it. I'm pretty sure Axe wasn't on that list, but maybe.
But once again,
they had some wild shit though. They had like swords.
They had nunchucks.
Nunchucks. I remember
the number one I was thinking because I was like, "Yo, I'm about to go train."
I was tight because
I'm like, "Wow!" It's like going.
I had nunchucks as a kid, and they took mine away because you couldn't have nunchucks.
Exactly, brought them shits back.
My uncle had brought them shits back from the Navy too.
Those are the official
ones.
They
were official from Japan.
I
had real shits.
I was about to say the Navy gives you nunchucks. They train you in nunchucks.
Nah, he
had
brought me back a samurai sword and a pair of nunchucks. I still got the samurai sword. Well, he still got it. It's a part of a set. But he got the, it's like one big one, one small one. So one is his, one is mine. So
the Kill Bill.
Yeah.
You know what's sick though is actually I was saying this to my wife when I was driving in the other day. I was going on to the fucking G-Dub. And some dude is like, and this is standstill traffic, but some dude is like, you hear, and I hate fucking people on bikes, bro. Like, yo, if you bike, that's cool, man. It's not for me. I've been through enough. I've lost a few people and almost, God forbid, lost somebody else. Shout out to Stevie. Like, I almost lost one of my closest people because of some dude was like rip riding past on like a crotch rocket, and my man dead ass had a sword, like on some Akira shit. Dead ass had a sword, and it was fucking mind blowing because I'm smack sitting in traffic like. I see the dude in the rear view, and I'm like, what's he got a fucking umbrella in his book bag? And then he gets in front of me and he starts cutting. And I'm like, yo, this motherfucker's rocking like Bushido blade. Like he's on, it looked like Kill Bill. It was Crazy 88s.
Was it raining that day?
Yes.
It possibly could have been a sword. One of my homies, he had a umbrella that looked exactly like a samurai sword. And when you pull it out the casing, it was an umbrella.
Yeah, no, his was a sword because he didn't have it dipped in. He had it tied to, when they have the book bags with the strings in the front where you could like tighten it, like the grip bags. you seen the whole sheath, like sitting. I was just like,
or it wasn't in the casing.
no, it was in it, but it was in the actual sheath. It wasn't like it was square.
That's
like
what I'm saying. It could have been an umbrella.
No, that wasn't that. That shit looked. And if it was, yo, son, they need to not sell things like that.
Oh yeah, that's what
like,
I told him.
That's not okay.
I'm like, yo, bro, you got a felony. You can't be walking around with something that looks like a sword. Like you're causing yourself attention you don't need.
That was the thing on the news the other day, though. They had those little pop guns that, shout out to Nene. That Nene was telling us the little water joints that you was telling me. They was like, yo, them shits hurt. Yo, cops shot somebody dead in Queens over that shit.
Yo, them shits do hurt though.
Yeah, I know, but like you gonna shoot a little kid. He was like, ha ha ha, fun with water, and they was like, wrong, buddy, bah, 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 and they put him down.
No, well, it all depends, because if let's say I heard like them shits sound like guns were going off. You know what I'm saying? It's like literally when we had we bought them for my man's Macho's birthday. We were supposed to have a water gun fight. So they came out just like the week before. We were like, oh fuck it, fuck the water gun. Let's get these pellets. We assumed that the pellets turned. When they hit you, it broke into water. And that's not what happens. Them shits is just hurt.
They're just jellies.
They're just
shooting like rocks.
That hits you at like 20 miles per hour.
Yeah, so it still sting.
Like we had welts on us and shit like that.
Yeah, see, that doesn't sound fun.
And it sounded like Iraq.
See, not fun.
It was like, but I'm like, holy shit. Yeah, this shit sounds crazy.
Not fun.
So I can understand if you in your trunk, all of a sudden you hear and you get hit.
Yeah, you're gonna hit the ground like
You turn around, and if you're somebody that has a pistol, turn around and might shoot back, because it's the sound and the sharp pain, which is obviously I have never been shot, but I'm pretty sure it's not compared to getting shot.
It's not on the same level, but yeah, it's a shocker.
It's just a shocker. You thinking, I'm shot. You shoot. Like, I'm not trying to give the dude an excuse, but I can understand it. I probably would have did the same thing.
I mean, I'm not condoning the cop shooting that kid, but I do understand from your perspective, like where, as far as owning, like you see the way it gives up, but like, stop making replica things that look real.
That's
like that's cool, man. Make it orange, make
Glock,
it bright.
No, my Glock is orange. It's orange camo, but there's Glocks that are orange camo right now.
There is Glocks that are orange camo.
This shit comes with a fucking extendo clip and a drum, a sight with a working laser, bro.
That's different.
Like you cock it back like a real gun and all that shit.
That's different.
Like, my nigga, this shit should not look like that. The AR-15, same thing, nigga. It got the.
But why does there need to be an AR-15 water gun, bro?
You should have seen.
I don't understand,
bro.
Because it's lit, bro. Like you want to win your water fight, right?
Yo, bro,
you don't want to go to water battle like you want to go there with the little thing or the big thing,
bro.
You know what I'm saying?
I just don't understand.
The water fight, I was strapped with the Glock and the MP4. Nana had the MP5. My man had the AR and the sniper rifle. Yo, we was out there for real. Like they made replicas of real guns. My other man had the AK-47, two of them, double-handed, like he was fucking.
That's why other countries hate us,
bro. When
we make fun of war.
Like
there's kids in fucking Saudi Arabia that really have to go through this every day, and yet we're out here like beep 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 beep.
Yo, why when me and Faye were kids, we used to fuck around. We had Dion's whatchamacallit, his little pellet guns. But it was the BBs. But the only way you could tell, because when it shot, it sounded real, and like he had all type of different ones, and the only reason you knew that shit was fake is because it was see-through. Like, you know what I mean? Like the whole shit was like clear, so you could see the inside of the gun. That's how people knew like it wasn't a real gun. But other than that, that shit was heavy, like all that shit, and them shits hurt.
I know them shits look real because the first robbery I ever did with Red, rest in peace.
Allegedly.
No, I was statute of limitations is over. And the Robbie, it has passed away too. R.I.P. Buddha. We robbed
Jesus.
We robbed him for 2 ounces of dirt with a Desert Eagle BB gun, and we dropped it, and the CO2 came out.
Damn, do you remember the Dirt Wars?
And then Buddha was chasing us down the stairs. This shit was mad funny. We were like 10, 11 years old.
Yo, me and Poot during the Buddha Wars got chased down by the big homie. I ain't gonna say his name, he's still around, but we definitely moved in on the wrong turn. We took a pack off 2 guys. We were like, we got it. This motherfucker chased us down 27 flights. We ended up smoking all our PCs sitting in the tube. because we was like, yo, he's gonna get us. And I just think about that now, like, damn, the dirt wars.
The
Like
dirt
we was
wars
doing this over
crazy.
bags of like gross.
Oh my god, bags of shit. You look at it right now, and you wouldn't even like
Yeah,
give
you
it to your
wouldn't.
dog.
You wouldn't know how to smoke it now, like stuff that like stems and yo, son, that's gonna be so crazy, right? I think about that shit too. I went through the stems and seeds era and fucking literally 5 guys on a nick type shit, like a nick. That whole concept is like,
But a Nick got 5 guys high before.
yeah, but okay. Once again, now is that due to the quality of the times or is that due to the quality of the smoke? Because yo, son, we used to. I swear
don't
till
know.
this day, my man chipped wood pieces off the bench in the park and would just put that shit on in a bag for us.
Bro, I know an OG from Chelsea that he used to put dirt weed in the oven, sprinkle vodka and orange peels, and leave and cook it with orange peels until the vodka like dried up in the weed. That's how he got his dirt popping.
That's funny. Actually, I remember
funny
when
as hell.
those first little droplets came around, they had the flavor droplets in the smoke shop. And
Oh,
I know
yeah, nah.
dudes who will go uptown to St. Nick's and buy a fucking half ounce for $45 and just sprinkle a little blueberry on it, shake that bitch up.
Blueberry Joe.
Got blueberry dro. That was the word.
Blueberry Joe. I remember getting good greens. Like that's when greens was starting to fade out,
Oh, the end of greens.
and selling it as dro. Oh my god, it was great.
We had the code for that. It was baby dro. If you ever got a bag of
You just had to make the
baby
bags
dro.
just a little fatter.
Yeah, that's
And
it.
at the end of the day, it was green, so you didn't mind because you was instead of getting $5 for the bag, you getting $10. All right, so I'll make it a $7 bag worth.
LES used to have the best nicks though. LES, I'd go down there and get like LES had the best nicks, just like the Heights had the best dimes. That whole era was great.
Kingsbridge, bro, when they had the mango
I
piña.
wasn't doing all that though. I wasn't going that far.
Oh my god, bro! I used to go to Kingsbridge to go get it was like an eighth or like a quarter. I don't even know what it was. Honestly, I don't know. I paid $35 for the shit,
Oh, so it's lit.
and this shit was a whole like a handful, like a softball of mango piña, bro. That shit was the raw.
I remember when I came through
That
the
was the
hood, man.
raw greens, the mango piña. But I used to buy it off a nigga in a FedEx truck, which was the most funniest shit ever.
Yeah, I think about that. See, right? So my whole point, what I was saying about with the weed thing is like I think about the fact that like kids going forward are not going to ever have to go through this.
Never.
You know what I'm saying? And it's a weird. I feel like this is what people felt like when Prohibition ended, when they were like the rum runners, the Kennedys, and everything.
Oh,
Except that
shit.
because the country now is more based in capitalism, like people were able to conquest first. Like they were able to be like, okay, well now this is going to be an industry. The government's way more like they did a lot more pre-gaming for it. Even though the government was definitely heavily behind the whole prohibition standpoint, and they were honestly a lot of the people who were bringing it in, X, Y, and Z. But like there weren't as many major, at least to my knowledge. Now, once again, I could be speaking out of school, but I can only speak from my experience. I didn't know many people who had like super grow opera. I knew people who had like factories in Brooklyn, a couple of like warehouses in Queens, where they would actually be grow facilities. And to me, that was fucking El Dorado. Like I was like, oh my god, I got to go to one once in Brooklyn. And I was like, this is fucking like you guys don't worry about like helicopters and like having that whole dead ass
You
though.
would
Like
worry about that.
yeah, not because
Yeah.
people. That's how they get bagged because they would go overhead. That's how that whole shit in the Bronx happened when they caught the dude on 182nd. Because the heat, yeah, my man's for some reason the entire building, I guess, like no one used any power, and my man's crib looked like the sun. Like they had a plane go over and they were like, "Yo, what is that? Like a nuclear? Like what is happening?" He had the whole crib like tinfoiled out, so it was just compact heat.
Yeah,
that's why his bill was low, but he was pumping it. So okay, I say that like kids aren't gonna have to do it. And it's like the whole prohibition thing where it's like people here were making rum in their basement. You know what I'm saying? They were bathtubs swilling it, back doors swilling, shit like that. Of course, you had your imports, but like weed, nah, man. That's when the drug cartel and all that shit. So it was a big crime, Kids aren't gonna have to deal with that going forward in the future. Also with the quality of it, because there's nothing worse than chipping down with like 6 people to get a dub, and that shit is harax. Where what it should be a gram, it's actually a 0.6, and then it's sad when you're like 0.6003 because you can really look at it, and the rest is all stems. Kids aren't gonna have to go through that nowadays, and that's crazy to me,
bro. Not even also the fact that like today I got pulled over, my weed and my Dutchess were in the passenger seat, and the cop didn't even look at it twice.
They don't.
What a glorious day!
Yeah, I like put the
I
seatbelt
used to
on
have
my
to
zip.
smoke in the staircase and then run from DTs as they were coming down trying to be stealthy.
Joe, Yo, talk about it.
And they just saw, like, openly saw, because I just came out the weed shop right after they pulled me over. And the shit is there. I didn't even put it in my bag yet. So I'm like, I know it's legal, so they're not gonna stop me. I haven't smoked in the car, so there's no
It's not like you're under the
DUI.
influence.
So I'm like, but he didn't even look at it twice, bro. I don't even know if he actually even looked at it. Because he came to the window, license registration, and passed it over. He said, "Can you open the back window for my partner?" Opened the back window. Partner looked. He said, "All right, right back."
Yeah,
He's like,
casual.
puppy.
Yeah, I swear, I think they only let me go because of the puppies. Shout out to the puppies.
Shout out to the puppies. That's also a funny ass thing to think about, though, right? You pull, hey man, you know why we pull you? Oh my god, are those two puppies?
That's the first. That's honestly the first thing he said to me. He goes, "Oh, cute puppies, license and registration."
Yo, how funny is that though? That you pull over and they're like, we were gonna pull you out of the car and beat the shit out of you, but those are two adorable pups. You going to smoke some? But you can't be a bad guy. What are you on your way to the toy store? You going to the park? And be like, I am going to the park, sir. I'm on my way to the dog park right now.
Right
Like,
now.
Those puppies are great collateral too, in case he was really trying to be a dick. Like, you know what? I'm about to take you downtown. I'm like,
so
yo,
what
do
are you
you
gonna do
want
with these puppies
Yeah.
and my car?
Yo.
Facts. He was like, all right, I'll take these puppies off your hand. You go. I'm like,
That brings an interesting question though. Had they have impounded the car, what do you think they would have did with the dogs? Like you get the car back and you have to look at them and be like, excuse me, sir, there were two puppies in this
There were
car.
two puppies.
There's now not two puppies in this car. Is there a ticket for that? Like, what if they would have been like, oh man, you guys are abandoned. We're going to make you join the force.
Yo,
They'd be some sweet ass. They should
That'd be
use
tough.
pits as fucking police dogs. I don't know why not. They're the best. They cuddle.
not because they have the lockjaw. So when they do
That's a
lock,
myth.
no, that's just not a myth.
Myth.
Bro, I seen Chloe lock on another dog, and no matter what we did, until she wanted to let go, she ain't let go.
Yeah, no, we've experienced it here too, but that's an intent thing. The idea of a jaw being able to physically lock as a mechanic has been disproven. That's just bully mentality, bro. That has nothing to do with an
Oh, yeah,
actual
yeah.
physical recourse.
Oh
of
no, I'm not
release.
saying that it's physically locking. It's just they're locking
Oh,
until
yeah,
they
yeah.
want to let go.
Well, yeah, some people are, but hey, listen, sometimes cops don't want to take their knees off people's neck. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Gotta
not
take
saying
it there.
I'm not saying what am I taking? I'm just saying it would seem kind of in line if they're doing the right thing and then they take it a little too far. It seems like a police ass thing to do.
I'm gonna bring it back. My boy Maj just sent me a video of a dog that was attacking another dog. And you know how they got the other dog off?
Finger in the butt.
Yep.
Yeah, that always works.
I'm like,
they ain't with that shit either.
Yeah.
Ain't with that funny shit like, yo, bro. Like,
but I
all the
thought about
toughness
it.
go out your body.
Yeah,
It's like, wow, I just got violated.
I'm not putting my finger in no dog's butt, bro.
if the dog is chewing on me, I might put a finger in the butt.
Oh, like on me, but if it's attacking another dog that I don't know, maybe I might not. Maybe I don't know.
Nah, man, I care about dogs too
Yeah,
much.
but
I
I'm
don't
still
wanna-
not
I'd be
putting
like,
my finger-
peace and love. Nah,
I'm gonna
man,
try
why
to
not?
stop, but I'm not putting my finger
Dogs.
in the dog.
Well, let me ask you a question. What is more?
I go get the glove real quick.
I'll see you're gonna run and get a glove. Listen, man. Listen.
That dog is dead.
In a situation, what is more pressing? Now, once again, the end thing I go to try to separate because I've done it. I've been in plenty. I have scars on my hands from dogs biting through my hands. So I've done try to do. But if somebody in an earlier stage would be like, "Yo, you could put yourself at risk," or when they've got their nose down and their tail up in that attack thing, you just right in the butt. And they'll release dog. That's like an emergency exit button in an elevator. All right, you just hit it and they let go. They open up. All right, is it going to be a lot of confusing things? Yeah, you're going to have to deal with that.
You gotta go
like-
to therapy after that one.
Why do I got to go to therapy? I saved the fucking day. I'm a hero now. That dog may feel a certain type of way.
I gotta go to therapy after putting my finger in a dog's butt. Like, I don't know where I'm at in life, doc.
Do you really think about the dog who doesn't release after they get the finger in the butt though? Like the one that just looks back at you and like winks. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's the one he goes harder now. Like,
Like he looks back with the dog in the mouth and like a grin.
Yeah, he just like he breathes out heavy through the nose. It's nice and quick. I'm telling you, man. Yo, did you guys see that? Speaking of dogs changing different ideals, you seen the Kanye White Lives Matter drop?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, bro. Like, and I just wanted him to I wanted to hear him talk about it once everyone automatically started going crazy. And his answer was so short that it got me mad. Like he didn't explain enough. Like to me, it's still a wild ass thing.
That's more than I know. So go on. What did he say?
He was just like, we all knew Black Lives Matter was a scam. I just debunked it. You're welcome. And I was just like, I don't even understand that. Kanye, I still don't get it. No, your shirt still says White Lives Matter.
Granted, Black Lives Matter, the corporation, was a scam.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a
why I'm
fact.
sitting here and I'm just like, Ooh, this is one of those bad messaging depiction, good message scenarios. Like, hey, the BLM, if you follow the website, if you backtrack to where the .orgs go to, it falls back to the Democratic Party. And because it's all public information, you can actually look all of this up. Shout out to Sal. Shoppy showed me this. You can actually look it all up. And when you look it all up, it'll show you the exact amount that was raised, the way it's allocated, the percentage of division that everyone gets for their reason. And it all goes back to the Democratic Party. So, yeah, 100%, he was not wrong.
Like the owners got a $4 million house, and
Oh, no,
Yeah,
those
no,
are
I
like
saw
the
that shit.
A1 scammers, though. Those weren't the people, like, I'm talking about.
She's the head coordinator of Black Lives Matter, the corporation.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. She's part of one of the owners of the thing. Like, so she's seeing
Yeah,
PC as far as a monopoly is concerned, but I'm
she's
talking about where those
she paid
checks are going in the
she
long
paid her
run.
husband $1 million a year salary or something like that.
She a real one.
Like everybody in her family had at least $1 million salary.
She a real one.
Word, fire.
I ain't mad at
I
that.
need that.
Now she going to jail though.
I mean,
Oh, they got her with it?
Yeah, they caught her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, you frauded an entire country. You started a fake charity. You pushed a not false narrative, but you pushed a narrative based upon something where you gained yourself and actually didn't help anyone that was involved. Which I can't even say that either, though, because like
I just
I
don't
feel
know
like
who
you
they
did.
helped.
Yeah, I don't know who they helped either, but I do feel like at
I
some
do
point,
understand the movement. The movement is good and the movement is necessary, but the corporation wasn't.
Yeah, the corporation. No, I understand exactly what you're saying.
It was evil.
Yeah, it was evil. Once again, that's subjective too. Because like, yo, listen. At the end of the day, we're in the era of fake business. Everything's a fucking grift, bro. Cryptocurrency, those pictures that people were paying for, most music nowadays. You know, motherfuckers was still hitting people over the head till this day in Times Square selling CDs. Who the fuck has a CD player?
Yo,
That shit is crazy.
Yo, that
who the fuck has a CD player? Like I found like a CD of when I used to rap. I don't have nothing to play it in.
Yeah. What do you do with that?
It took me mad long to find something to play a CD that they gave me. Like, yo, your old shit. And I was like,
Because I don't even have
Fuck.
a gaming console.
There you go.
Like, because like at least like other people, most people have gaming consoles. I don't have a gaming console. I have my computer doesn't take CDs.
this. Yeah, it doesn't.
yo, and like the newer consoles too, like a burned CD, like, you know what I'm saying? It won't read it.
Oh shit, it's over.
Does not compute.
Yeah, it's like,
I told
get this
you.
old shit out.
I'm never gonna hear my old bars again. It's over.
See, I'm a live and let go person. I don't mind it. But like I said, the only time that it really fucked me up is when I went to the doctor and they gave me the CD from the CAT scan shit. And they was like, yeah, man, you could look at it through here. And I was like, oh, all right, here's the CD. And they was like, what the fuck do we do with that? And it was just like this moment of awkward silence where I'm like, what do you mean? Would you like, you put it, they were like in the tower? Like, hold on a minute. And they had to go and get help. And I was like, bro, for a CD?
Yeah.
A CD.
I said the same thing when they asked me, when I went for my MRI and they asked me for the CD. And I was like, the last time I got an MRI and I brought the CD in, y'all didn't have anything to put the CD in.
Yeah.
So why y'all keep asking me for the CD? Just ask them to email you the pictures and call it a day.
It's just like I said, just outdated things. But that whole shit with Kanye, the reason I say the whole outdated thing is because Kanye, somebody had made the joke that Kanye, basically what he does is he takes shit that old white people like and he makes it cool. That's like his sneakers look like fucked up New Balances, like the tattered clothes look. And he made White Lives Matter. And I was like, yeah, only weird old white people say things like White Lives Matter. And he just made that cool. Like, I don't know how to feel about it. Like, is this a good thing?
You got to think about the part of America that's not thinking like the old people that's like White Lives Matter, like the real like racist people that are thinking White Lives Matter. And now seeing a prominent black guy and supposed to be like somebody that the culture looks up to, saying White Lives Matter, not wearing a Black Lives Matter, but stating that White Lives Matter, they're gonna take that and run with it, bro. It's either doing that shit to be to pander for his next presidency, or he's just really such a fucking narcissist that he just wants all types of attention, whether it's good or bad.
I seen a quote that it said when someone asked Nick Bosa about it, and Nick Bosa was like, "Oh yeah, I like that. Kanye's one of the good ones." And I was like, "Nick Bosa,
Oh,
bro."
man.
See what I mean?
No.
Bro.
Pandering to people, you know, because if you think about it, like even like in everything he talks about, when he talks about like people that he inspires to be, he'll never say anybody of color. It's Disney, it's Walt Disney, it's fucking Bill Gates. Granted, these people are very successful and rich, but you don't want to be like nobody of color.
That's an interesting point. All right, let me ask you this. So they always said that Will Smith transcended race. and that's because of his acting quality. Like he transcended race, and that's why no one can ever give it integrity. Is there a point in finance or in, I guess, global conquest, given whoever you suppose, where that person no longer become, because like you're just saying, like he never says anyone in color, but like the people that you named also aren't like your average people. These are like fucking.
Oh yeah, they're great people. That's
elites.
what.
Well,
I
okay,
said.
great is an interesting term.
Great as successful.
Yes, I will say they are successful.
Mhm.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. Do you think after a while that it just transcends that it's not actually a big deal?
Well,
It's still a crazy cracker to me.
I think that Will's, like you said, Will transcended color, but I always feel that they looked at Will Smith as quote unquote the
Token.
not token, but the safe black guy, quote unquote.
Guess they learned that was wrong years later.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
You know how some people are. You walk down the street and some people will cross the street when you walk down the street, and then some people won't.
Oh yeah.
They looked at Will Smith as the guy that they didn't have to cross the street for. So he was kind of an anomaly.
Anomaly.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I'm not disagreeing with you, but I said when it comes to the perspective of viewing it though, like
But
for Kanye to say that, you think that like it's not so much of a, you're not talking about anyone in color, you're just talking about people who have astronomically unreasonable amounts of money.
I guess.
Like,
But
does that determine their clear point? Are they cool at that point? Like, oh yeah, you're not white, you're not black, you're just fucking
You're just rich.
But
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's a king in Nigeria that has way more money than anybody in America.
Oh yeah, without a fucking doubt.
Why
But
you
Why
wanna
he
be
don't?
like him?
Yeah, I say why you don't aspire that bread.
because that motherfucker's not on Forbes, bro. He's not getting these fucking public
That's what I'm saying.
ducats.
It's
not
kind of
fresh.
pandering.
Yeah,
Pandering, I will say it's pandering to a point. And I say it's pandering to a point
Just
of
want
attentiveness.
acceptance. That he wants acceptance. That's what he wants. He
I-
wants to be accepted by white people.
well, whites,
He does.
they're whites.
Okay. With that, I will say that you're not wrong. He teamed up with Candace Owen. That's every conservative white dude from a redneck that's his green color girl crush. Candace Owens can get it. Like, I'm not saying that because I feel any type of, I'm just saying like I only exclusively have ever really been with dark skinned women. My wife is black. I feel like I've shown my preference over natural time because of what I was raised by. Like that's what I'm comfortable with. Candace Owens can get it. It would be a hate fuck because like I don't want to hear that conservative rah shit.
Yeah, she's
First
a
off,
wild one.
for a conservative woman, you do mad talking, and anyone who knows that from conservative places, conservative women aren't supposed to talk. It's a conservative place. You're supposed to get in the kitchen, be like Marjorie Taylor Greene. You say something weird that they're like, okay, shut the fuck up and get in the kitchen. Like, you want to be super over opinionated, okay? You want to be everyone's, and then you come out with this White Lives Matter. Like, all right, bitch, you kind of kicking the dead horse. The fact that you teamed up with Kanye lets me know that like. I think he may be trying to keep doing the heel angle, like I said, the Joe Budden thing. Like he has to do something controversial every couple months. It's just that the last situation leading up to this, there was no like downtime. It went from like you're an abusive ex who's picking on this weird white dude who's now in like a mental place. You're walking around in a ski mask, and now White Lives Matter. Like,
He must have like an album coming out or something.
bro, there's no album that's gonna solve that. Like,
No,
it's
no, he
coming.
wants it's cut for attention. He
It's
got
on the way.
he got
it's on the way to
he's
roll
built
out.
the attention, and now he's gonna give you music, and then the music is gonna fucking slap, and we're gonna forget about he had a White Lives Matter tee on. That's what happens.
I will say that the crazier shit he puts out, the more the music will slap.
Yeah,
Which also begs the question. This is an age-old question.
I saw when he was on Peaceful Time, we got that gospel album and all that shit. Now that
And that shit ain't go nowhere.
Exactly.
Whoa, I love that gospel album. There's two
Now-
tracks on there that fucking slap. The remix for Destiny's Child, Say My Name, and the genuine fucking
You probably
Oh
the
my
only
God.
person
Yo,
that
right?
listen to that album.
That
bro.
gospel
Bruh,
album
that's
slaps.
gonna
Like,
time out. No, first off, shout out to my brother-in-law Molly, who told me that while he was traveling with my
Oh,
preaching
yeah.
in-laws, he
Oh,
did
shit.
say he was bumping that album.
I thought he was being sarcastic.
Nah, he knows what they want to hear. They want to hear that good gospel, and the only way he's gonna meet them halfway is if Kanye did it.
See, he was in a car with pastors. You got to
Yeah.
listen to some gospel.
If I had to play gospel, I would put the Kanye album as well.
Yeah.
Well, then you don't know good gospel. But there are. What I said is that album is all right. Don't that album's not as bad as everyone portrays it to be.
Man, I'll go back and listen to it.
Every time. Yeah, nah, he kills it. That shit is a bum. But anyway, if this is the rollout, the age-old question then becomes: if the art is great, can we forgive you? Like I said, can we put a pass on everything? If what he drops now is better than Life of Pablo, in the next, after all of this shit that's been said and done, do you think we can forgive him?
Well, it all depends on what you do, because
Him specifically, like everything that he's done.
everything that he's done so far, I build it up to he got some type of like CTE.
Kanye been hitting the head too many times. It was that one car accident. He ain't never recovered.
That car accident got him with CTE. That's why he acts so wild. Like, you got to think about, he act like AB. Like,
Time out, though. That's not what I asked. And the fact that you made it about that is great. I said, if the music is good,
Wait.
can we find it? You go, I honestly think he's got a mental deficiency at this point.
Nah,
like,
'cause
wait,
you're
do we
saying-
forgive him for that?
It ain't
Nah,
about redeeming himself. It's
nah,
about he
because you're
calm
saying
down.
depend on what he does. Does the music, because I'll forgive him on his, based on his music is good, depending on what he does. Like, I never gonna forgive R. Kelly, no matter how great his music is.
Whoa.
We heard your commercial
Yes.
Whoa.
episode.
not-
I'll pull
yeah,
that.
we're
We're not
not
going
doing
back
that
to
again.
that.
That's crazy, though, to say.
So he does something like R. Kelly, then his music doesn't matter anymore. But something like this, I put it up to him just being retarded. You can't say that no more, right? I'm sorry. Say him having CTE and he's
See how like how CTE is the opposite now. Like,
Yeah.
no, I mean CTE.
nah, but CTE is a
Anyone can
real.
have CTE.
Everyone got
And,
CTE now.
We could say
know,
that's
he
the
does
real
some
world
wild
way.
shit.
It's the real world way of explaining it. Is he has CTE?
Yo, the car accident gave him CTE, and that's why he's acting wild, bro.
That's why he acts like AB.
Yeah. You gotta look at it. They act the same. They never been. Look, Kanye never played football, and AB never been in the car accident.
Yo.
Okay. Okay. And they do act exactly the same. They be popping the same
Damn it! I
shit.
wanted to poke holes in that argument, but fuck.
Nah,
All right.
Kanye got CTE.
Yo, shit, man, that's a
That-
really good
That
fucking
confirms
point.
it though, Max, that you do not have CTE.
Oh yeah, I know I ain't got the CTE. I said that.
I don't know. You took it.
CTE.
Yeah.
I made that very clear.
You got pre-CTE. You got
No,
you
I
just
got-
got C.
I got drain bramage. It's fine. Like there is a difference between drain bramage. Like my shit just don't function well. They shit just functions off. Like their shit is askew. My shit don't do that. My shit, I just like I can't remember where I am sometimes.
Yeah,
Some
nah,
of the
but
bulbs
it-
just don't turn on. They got
Yeah.
too many bulbs.
Yeah, too many lights.
But it all has to do with being hit in the head.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying like, or does it? Because I don't see Kanye coming across the middle and getting taken down like that.
No,
Like
he
I never
had
seen
one giant head hit.
One giant
Like,
head hit
Boom. Changed his whole life.
through
Okay.
the wire.
Okay, that's interesting. If you want to say that, okay.
Do you remember The Wire now? Do you
I
remember?
do
He
remember.
He made that magic
Uh-huh.
after that.
Okay, that's all right. That's what I will say.
Looked like Tom Cruise in Vanilla Sky.
Come
Yo.
on. Come on, bro.
All right, all right. So if we say that his CTE started from then, and fuck, look at the magic of CTE though.
That's
But
what
no
I'm saying.
progressiveness.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
no,
but
got
look at that.
progressively worse.
Now, but look how much. Look, all right.
The magic of CTE, how everybody with CTE does great.
To a point, yeah. Actually,
And
that's what I'm
until
saying.
the-
To a
until the
fucking point.
downfall.
Yeah. Okay. Because once again, because I'm saying, I'm like, all right.
Aaron
Through the
Hernandez.
Wire, first album. So you were able to carry out minimum 4 classics right after that, because every one of them,
Yeah.
the whole high school drop
They were
series,
all
Yeah.
after
phenomenal. All
808s,
after that accident,
Dark
808s,
Fantasy.
Dark Fantasy. Once
Right
again,
after Dark Fantasy is when it was like,
Yeah,
is the
little-
CTE getting to him?
yeah.
well, that makes you wonder about the time of progression as far as CT, because now I'm thinking about Antonio Brown's career, where they said they blamed the biggest hit was him coming across the middle against what's his name when he was still on the Steelers. Like that was the hit that kind of, they say that's what pushed it. So then I think about the time frame of him playing afterwards and then where he is now, and I start to wonder if maybe you're right, the CTE thing is more of a time-based thing than an immediate reaction, which is obvious because your brain's melting basically at that point. But what I'm saying is that after the initial contact, they got a rise. They became a fucking superstar. And then, of course, all stars that shine that bright burn out twice as fast. No, okay. And then you brought up Hernandez.
Because you got to be
Same thing,
crazy
another
to
star.
accomplish things like this. You know what I'm saying? You got to be fucking out of your mind to do the type of things that they do. Look at AB. He was living with Tom Brady.
Yo, he was living with Tom Brady.
He was getting professional football
yeah.
time with Tom Brady
And dinner.
and dinner. He was eating Tom Brady dinners.
He's eating
And then
dinner.
post his
saying?
wife.
And then posted his wife, which is wild disrespectful. He was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, they getting divorced." Him and Giselle. I was like, "Oh,
Yeah, he definitely busted down his wife. It's crazy.
That's crazy. I don't want to say that because Tom Brady is the type to like show up here. Like, it cost me
He
200.
busted down his wife. Let him show up. Good. That'd be good for the pod.
Bro, I got to shoot TB12. I'm not fighting him. He's 54 years old.
I'm not fighting him neither. I'm miking him up. Like, yo, here, put
I'm
this on.
not fighting him either. I'm
Tom?
going to stand there and put my chin out and prepare my call for the lawyers.
Oh, no. You see, I'm not doing that either. I ain't no sucker. You want to show up here for smoke, be prepared.
Put my chin out like, yes.
I'm gonna put a microphone on him. I'm like, Tom, I got questions.
Gonna mic him up. Hot mic. But yeah, man. Oh, man. I can't believe we solved CTE. Go us today, man. Very progressive.
Let's go.
That shit.
Yo, the doctors are gonna be mad as hell. Really just discovered this shit. They're gonna be like, what the fuck? They solved it.
We didn't even have to open up a brain, bro.
Yo.
Yeah.
To some common sense and some thinking.
Common sense and some viewing the field. Like I said, you get hits in the domus, then you project yourself to superstardom, then you slowly crash and burn. And now white lives matter, which, by the way, is a dumb slogan. That's just stupid. And even as a rebuttal to Black Lives Matter, still dumb. It's still dumb as shit.
Yep.
Of course, white lives matter.
That guy, I mean, to me, that sounds racist.
Outliers Radio.